No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved.
We are finishing up talking about prayer this month. And may I believe for you came to mind for me because I thought about, it's a story that's in Mark's gospel. It's also in Matthew's gospel, both in Matthew and Mark's gospel. And the scene that is taking place is that the master teacher Jesus is walking up to a crowd that he sees gathered, and he notices his disciples and some other people arguing. So he gets there and he starts to ask them, what's the fuss? What's the commotion? Why are you arguing? And in the midst of that, a man runs up to him and he says, well, I went to your disciples and I was asking them to help my son, because every now and then my son, something comes over him and he starts foaming at the mouth and he throws himself into the fire and he falls down on the ground, and I asked them to help me. And I think maybe you might be able to help. If you're able to, can you help me? And Jesus' response to him was, I believe. He said, all things are possible to those who believe. And then the Father's response to me was one of the most honest things I think a person could say. He says, I believe, but help my unbelief. I believe, but help my unbelief. And if you think about it for a moment, here is a man who had a son. Now in today's terms, we would probably look at what the boy was going through and we would say he had seizures. But back in that day, the belief or the feeling was that people were filled with demons, and somehow he'd been taken over by a demon that would cause him to convulse and to do these things. But it was no less scary today when we see someone that has seizures than it would have been back then. And so for someone who has a child who is experiencing these things, someone that is close to them that is experiencing these things, and to believe that they could get better, to believe that things could be different, can be difficult. And the man was honest with him. He said, I believe, but help my unbelief. May I believe for you. On this past Friday, and that was, I think, a part of what also made the week seem like that, I got a call from my daughter, Shelly, who's a college student in her last year at UT Chattanooga. And there was a decision that had been made that had to do with her academic career. She changed majors several times, and it wasn't favorable for her. And she made an appeal, and she called me, and she was really kind of upset about it. She was in tears, and she was saying, Daddy, I need you to help me to believe that this is going to happen. I know that I'm going to win the appeal. I know things are going to go right for me. And I entered into daddy mode. Okay, well, have you done this? And we can call this person, and I'll call that person, and all that. And she said, no, Dad, it's going to work out. I just need you to help me to know that it's going to work out. And all through the week, she would send text messages and she would emphasize it already being done. I'm still in daddy mode. Well, you know, and it took me a moment to take a breath, to calm myself, and to pull back and to understand she wasn't asking me to be daddy in that situation. She was asking me to believe for her, to help her, and those places, those parts of her where there was unbelief, to believe. And you've heard me talk about this before, the partner in believing. Mary Morrissey, back when she was trying to do something that seemed almost impossible, to do a new church construction project, and it was going to cost millions of dollars, and there was only a few dollars that were available to them at the time, and she goes to her friend Jack Boland, who was her mentor, who was very well known in New Thought circles, and she says to Jack, I really want to do this, I really think we can do this, and he says, well, Mary, I believe you can do this. And she says, I know you do believe that, but I'm still, and she's going back and forth, and he said, Mary, do you believe that I believe that you can do it? And she said, well, yes, I believe that you believe that I can do it, but I don't know if I believe. He said, well, here, just believe in my belief. Believe that I believe that you can do it. I know it's throwing a whole lot of things around, but sometimes it's important to have people in our lives that even when we can't know the truth always, that can believe for us. There are partners in believing. There are people who see, know, and hold the truth about and for us, even when we can't ourselves. If you think about it, and I've said this before, we are all products of someone else's prayers. Somewhere along the way, there's someone that was praying for us. You hear the song that sometimes they sing in church. You go into churches and a lot of the black churches in the community, and there was a song, somebody prayed for me. They had me on their mind. They took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad they did. I'm so glad they did. I'm so glad that somebody prayed for me. There were people that when we didn't even know it, when we didn't know ourselves sometimes, somebody there was praying. It might have been grandmama, it might have been granddaddy, it might have been an aunt, uncle, cousin, a spouse, a parent, a sibling, but somebody was praying for us. Somebody was holding the truth for us. Somebody was our partner in believing. And if we have situations or circumstances in our lives, we want to make choices to reach out to other people and to say to them that I'm having a time with this. Will you just believe with me? Believe for me. It's not a sign of weakness to acknowledge that. It's not a sign of failure to acknowledge that. I know oftentimes we feel like, well, yes, I come here and I hear about New Thought, ancient wisdom, and the fact that we have the creative presence and power within us. We are the emanation of God and the source and the place where God shows up and all of those things. So I'll be brave, I'll be bold, I'll be able to believe all these things, and then it gets midnight. And something about midnight, I don't know. Darkest hour. And sometimes that hope, that enthusiasm, that confidence can slip away. But if we've got a partner in believing, if we've got somebody that's believing for us, we can call on that belief, call on that hope, call on that knowing and understanding. And the thing of this is, not everybody is meant to be our partner in belief. We have to be discerning. We have to say to the universe, say to God, say to Spirit, say to Source, say to whatever it is that I am in this and I am needing someone to believe for me. Because some people, that if you go to them and you tell them you're having a hard time, they will co-sign and yep, my uncle tried that too. Or you need someone who you'll meet someone or say something to you who will tell you, well, I didn't think that they will destroy, they will kill dreams. And what we need is someone to believe for us. I was talking recently with a friend who had started an organization. And the organization came out of a need, out of a belief that she needed to help people who had been victims of relationship violence. And And for a while, the organization was up and going, and it was high flying. It did some things that actually served its purpose, and then she decided when it reached a certain point that it was probably no longer her mission to do that. There were other groups that were doing it. But she said to me, you know, when I think about the fact on that time, how we were able to do so much with so few resources and so few people, and it just amazes me how we were able to do that. And I said, well, you know, the secret was. She said, what's that? I said, well, if you recall, on our board of directors, we had, I called her Miss We Can Do That. There was a woman on the board, very, very understated, very much an unsung hero, who anytime we would propose to do something or think about this or think about that, she would be the first person to step up and say, oh, we can do that. And the amazing thing about it was, for me, when I reflected back with her on the things that this woman was able to help us to accomplish, and the people that this woman knew in the city, people we would think that she had no idea, because she wasn't anybody that was necessarily out front, anybody that was in a prominent position or anything like that, but it was her we can do this attitude, we can do this spirit that made the difference. And the fact of it is that when she would say that in meetings, when she would say that when an idea came up, when she would say that, those things would begin to take shape in our minds. And when she helped us to begin to see the vision, she would move us forward. And you need someone in your life who can sometimes, even when you might be doubtful, say, oh, you can do this, you got this. A partner in believing, someone that can believe for you. And if we go back to the story of the master teacher, when the man says to him, I believe, help my unbelief, and Jesus said, I believe, and it's done. And we oftentimes look at that as being evidence of what Jesus could do and all of that. But had it not been for this man being honest in and of himself of that, and then being open and available to how Spirit was willing to work through him, that's what made the difference. And it says that his son was healed. And again, the story that I started out telling about my daughter was the fact that we went through much of the week still waiting on the decision that was going to happen on Friday. She's texting saying, I've already started working as if it's done. I'm already seeing that. I'm already visualizing that. And then it took me back into daddy mode. Because Thursday, she sent me a text, said I checked online. Everything, I haven't gotten the official word yet, but everything's all right. Everything's like I thought it was going to happen. Thank you for believing. Then Friday morning, another text, I got the official word. That's done. All of us can believe for one another. And all of us can have partners in believing. And all of us can hold a space for one another. And all of us can affirm and know the truth for each other. We can have that expression. We sang this morning, God is real, God is magnificent, God is light, God is love. And that would be great in and of itself. But we didn't stop there. Because we said, you are real, you are magnificent, You are light. You are love. And when we were singing that part this morning, there was something inside of me that said somebody needs to hear that today. Didn't say what was going on with them, but that somebody needed to hear you are real. You are magnificent. You are light. You are love. Then the final part of that, we say, I am love. I am magnificent. I am light. I am love. I hold that belief about and for each and every one of you. You are magnificent. You are light. You are love. You are something else. Won't you know it for yourself? Won't you understand that is who you are? Each and every day. That's who you are. You are real. You are light. You are love.
Imagine this.